Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from the internet. I hope each and every single one of you is doing just spectacular on this fine Tuesday morning or whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, evening, or night. Again, I am so excited to be back here with y'all again. So welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Remember, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcast, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. You have no idea. It helps us out so much on the show to get the show spread and to get more ears tuning in, because you can never have too many beautiful friends, right? You can never have too many beautiful friends, especially from the internet. So thank you all to those who have been doing that, and those of you whom will do such a generous action for me. Thank you all so much. So remember also, you can reply to the last week's following episode on Spotify. You can go and listen on Spotify. If you click the description of the episode, you can reply to that question, and I will read aloud the responses from the last week's episode before we start. And I also want to just give a little a PSA before we begin. This is some of you may be disappointed by this news, but some of you may be happy. I kind of hope you're happy, because this is a good sign. Maybe a little slightly annoying for you, but I am guessing that you've started to notice that there are ads in the show. And this has nothing to do, if you listen on Spotify, this has nothing to do whether you have a premium account. This has to do with the fact that this podcast, because I have so many beautiful listeners from all across the internet, that this show became ad eligible. So that means that I can actually start making an income off of this show. Now, be it, it's not going to be the most insane income ever, but it does really, mean a lot to me for the fact that all the years and the effort and the work that I put into doing the show every single week. I know I don't do it for money. But it is nice to have some sort of, I guess you could say, monetary validation, I guess, in a certain way, whether that's shallow or not. But I'm proud of the fact that I put a lot of work into the show, and that I've built the show to be what it is today. And I'm excited that advertisers think that this show is worth placing ads in, and that I can actually potentially make an income off of this show, which I think is a really, really exciting idea. Because if that's the case, then that means that's only gonna mean more exciting and more and just better quality, better ideas for the show itself. So I think overall, it's really exciting. Some of you might find it annoying that there are ads in the show. I try not to put too many ads or anything like that in the show. I know, obviously, that everybody wants to hear the content, but I find it personally to be a little bit of a significant achievement for me. So I also think it's because of you guys too. Like, I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that pretty much everything has to do with the fact that you just love the show and you just tune in every week. I wouldn't be able to even be eligible for something like that if it wasn't for all my beautiful friends across the internet. So I just want to thank you all so much for tuning into the show and listening. But enough of that. Why don't we hop into last week's episode? So last week's episode, the replies was because my buddy Sam was on. So I want to thank Sam again for tuning into that episode. Please go and listen to that episode. Sam's a really funny guy. So first response we have, the last episode was, what was the worst thing that you've seen at a wedding? So first one comes from Ghost. Luke Waza, love the podcast. Been listening for about a month. Don't have a wedding story, but I wanted to say hi and wish you well, Vortex. This podcast helps me through depression. Podcasts help me through depression too, so don't even worry about it. I think podcasting and YouTube is the cure, and memes, just scrolling for the juiciest memes that I can find. Thank you so much for commenting, and I appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, we all wish you well, Vortex. And Vortex, we're hoping that you're listening to the show and that you're enjoying the show still. We're all thinking about you. Next one comes from Fian3900. Gotta be the time the bride decided to change her undergarments while she was sitting. And then There's another comment about there was from my last episode, there was a slur that I didn't understand. They said, great episode. Thank you so much, Fion3900. That is a wild choice. How are you not aware of that? Like, you're just like, there's no way that I could be wearing if I was wearing a dress, even as a dude, and I just had underpants on, she'd be like, yeah, I'm going to slip these off while I'm sitting down. Yeah, just make it, you can't do that subtly. That's impossible. I refuse to believe that is an action that you could perform subtly. Like, no, everyone can see what you're doing. Yep, are you taking your yeah, okay. Well, I guess it is your wedding. So you can do what you want, but keep in mind there are children here. So you got to be a little bit aware of that. And it'll be a memorable wedding, that's for sure. Make sure no one got that on video. Make sure that no one captured that, especially creepy Uncle Barnabas. No one wants to see that. Next one comes from the Green Changeling. I'm starting to understand why there were so many requests for Sam to be on the podcast. As you two laughing and having a good time makes the podcast so much more enjoyable. Keep up the fantastic work. Thank you so much. Yeah, I always love having my friends on, and Sam is such a funny guy. So I really appreciate when Sam is able to make the time to come on the show. It's always a pleasure to have him on. Next one comes from Naj. Bride walked up to the altar, had her dress caught and torn, and simultaneously tripped and fell and broke her arm. Oh my God, never heard silence that loud. Yeah, everyone doesn't know what to do. Everyone who's sitting in the crowd is like, oh, maybe I should. Oh, but no, we can't. We shouldn't. Because you want to help. I mean, we're just like, should I help? Are we helping? Is this a helping thing, or do we let the family help? Because I'm just here for the booze. All right, I'm here to support, of course. We're here to support the relationship, but open bar, screaming my name. So I think this is a family matter. Let's just leave this up to the family, okay? This is an internal issue. This is an issue that concerns internal affairs. So we're gonna leave that be. I hope you guys know I'm clearly joking. Please don't prioritize. If you prioritize alcohol over a bride's wedding's broken arm, then you have a problem. I hate to tell you. I really hate to be the one to tell you that, but you should be concerned. Okay, I'm assuming that I'm not the first person that's told you that. Next one comes from All of the Jazz. Sister's wedding went very well. Everyone was leaving, and Sister's friends were yelling at the groom because he was too drunk to be driving. He wasn't and hadn't even drank. She was drunk, and he was not. This is like, how are her friends still cock blocking? They're married. It's like, no, he needs to come. She needs to come with us. It's girl time, okay? She'll see you later. Give her your number or something. It's like, she's literally my wife now. Okay, I understand being protective of your friend, but I just married her. Did you not see the whole ceremony that just took place, or any of the events that have occurred within the last 24 hours, or even the fact that we've been engaged for the last year? No, nothing. No, you don't need to be that protective, okay? We live together. Okay, you're gonna take her home? Yeah, we're going back home to the same place. We live at the same address. Okay, she is my wife now. That's so wild. Next one comes from Stressed Human. What's going on, Stressed Human? Great to see you. It was a kid-free wedding, and my father started screaming at the couple for them not allowing him to commit child neglect by taking us home. Then only he came back to the wedding. I don't know why he took us. That's embarrassing. And you're just children. You're just like, oh, I'm getting the sense that I'm not wanted here, but now everyone feels bad that I'm here, so I should stay here. And no, I don't. You know what? As the child, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna find a Chuck E. Cheese down the corner. Me and the siblings are gonna just, shoot some skee ball for a little bit. Maybe hit up McDonald's after and just play in the play place or something. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I've very much confidence if you're recognizing this stressed human that you would have been that child. You were the Kevin McAllister, all right, of the children. You were just so self-aware. Like, you know what? It's fine. We didn't have to be here. We're going to go to Booster Juice, all right? And we're going to go to the juice bar. You know, we'll figure something out. Okay, we're kids. There's tons of stuff in the city for kids to do. All right? We'll figure it out. Rock climbing, catch a movie. You know, I just seen the new Disney Pixar film was just released. So maybe we should go and just attend that. Next one comes from Phil Savannah. I saw the best man get loaded, give a speech, and profess his love of the bride and how they had slept together 3 nights before. When she got mad about that, he talked about her college days. You think she's bad now? Oh, you should have seen her back in college. Oh, we ran a swingers club. It was so awesome. Oh God. All right, the whole wedding didn't need to know that. Okay? The whole wedding didn't need to know about your swingers operation. No, all power to you, okay? There's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with being a swinger. All right, if you're swinging, swing it to your heart's content. All right? No one should prevent you from doing that. But you know what? Maybe the entire attendance of your wedding doesn't need to know about that. Okay? I think those are things that are some things that are better kept to yourself. Just my opinion. All right? Next one comes from Tucker. What's going on, Tucker? I heard a story about a bride who purposely put peanuts in the wedding cake to prove someone was faking an allergy. They were definitely not faking the allergy. I'm pretty sure they lived. Maybe. Speaking as someone with a nut allergy, if someone thought I was faking, you know what? I don't want to die, but I hope I die, just to spite you. All right? Why would I fake that? Why would anyone fake that? That's not even something what you would want to fake. Yeah, my life's like so difficult. Like, I've got like this nut allergy and it's so devastating. It affects every day of my life. It's something you gotta learn to live with. You know, it's something that I have to. I struggle for sure. You know, I can't eat desserts often. It's devastating. I have to wait. I have to say, you know what? I'm sorry. You know how embarrassing it is for me at restaurants to say, oh, just so you know, I have a nut allergy. Do you know how embarrassing that is? Okay? You just don't know what it's like to live a day in my shoes. Last one from Spotify comes from Caleb. I was listening to this episode and I got an ad. Bro, why I got ads? I pay for premium. Great episode, by the way. Sam is great. Yes, Sam is great. And I'm sorry about the ads, Caleb. By nothing personal. I truly mean nothing personal by the ads at all. If anything, I really hope that it's now that you all have the context for that it's it makes a little bit more sense why you might be listening to the ads in the show. Last one comes from a YouTube comment from the Dopic. My last response, it was my South Asian Indian friend being harassed. Oh yeah, that's right. By the guy who was taking her out on the date. He thought the dirty talk was turning her on. Very weird. Yeah, that was from 2 episodes. Number 2, we need more Sam. The episodes are so funny with him on. Please make an effort to include him more. I would love to include Sam more. Trust me, it's not like I'm preventing him from being on the show. Sam is a very busy person. We are all in university. Sam doesn't always have the time to come on the show. I would love to have Sam on the show much more often, and my roommate Elias too, but we are all very busy people, and this is also, you know, it's I don't want to make anyone feel obligated to come on the show. So I know Sam loves coming on, but trust me, it's not because it's not for a lack of me asking. Number 3, don't forget that people can respond on YouTube. I exist. Yes, you do exist, the Dopic, and people can respond on YouTube. Absolutely. Now for my actual response. I remember hearing a story about how the groom cheated on the bride before the wedding, so she made a slideshow exposing him. Pretty sure the groom's dad punched him in the face for that. Imagine being on the groom's side at the wedding. So embarrassing. Thanks for reading this. Sorry for too much talking. I love the show like always. We love you too, Vortex. Hope you're doing amazing. One more thing. Useless knowledge time. Did you know that you can't hunt camels in Arizona? Well, I definitely did not know that. That's kind of, I mean, like, the wedding's already paid for, right? You might as well make something out of it. You might as well just use it as as a platform to expose your cheating husband. I actually think that I would have been more entertained. I would have been like, well, okay, the damage is done. Okay, the damage is already done. This wasn't going to be a successful marriage anyways. So why don't we all just sit back, relax, and watch this beautiful slideshow that that the bride created exposing her husband. I think this is going to be awesome. This is going to be like watching an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians or something. It's going to be like hella drama.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Get in, loser! Mean Girls is now streaming on Paramount Plus. Join Katie Heron as she meets the plastics in Tina Fey's new twist on the modern classic. Get ready for more of the rumors, backstabbing, and jokes you loved from the original movie with some fetch surprises. Rated PG-13. Wear pink and head to ParamountPlus.com to try it free.
Okay, thank you all so much for tuning into that. That was a lot of responses. Wow, I love the amount of responses. I might have to make an entire episode with people's responses. So thank you all so much for responding. So why don't we hop into today's episode? So today's episode is, what is a piece of advice you've received that initially seemed strange, but turned out to be remarkably insightful? You know, this is the thing with wisdom, all right? There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom, folks. Knowledge are facts, you know, just semantic information. Wisdom comes with time. Wisdom is perspective, okay? And I think we all have either gained some perspective or been able to be in the presence of someone who is able to provide us with a little bit of perspective. And I think that those types of moments can help change our life. It's amazing what time does. So, first one comes from Gray Koala _. This is not mine, but something I read somewhere. Essentially, a girl was practicing archery and kept messing up, and the instructor told her, "You're failing because you're too focused on the target and not on your own actions." She proceeded to say that it was the best life advice she had ever gotten. To be honest, I think we're lacking a little technique in that advice, okay? You gotta really make sure that you got a tight grip on the bow, all right? You gotta pull the string back, and you gotta wait till it locks, okay? Once you've reached that point, then you gotta take an inhale, all right? And keep that inhale. You got to focus, and then you just let go, right? Focus on... No, I'm just kidding. There was a reply from Diehard American 95. There was a whole comment string replying to your comment, and all of them were missing the fact that it wasn't actually about archery. Yeah, it's like this is a piece of larger life advice. I hope that was clear, was that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? If you're too focused on the destination, then you're not going to make the right moves to get there. But someone in the comments is just like, "Oh, this is terrible archery advice. This has no technical advice whatsoever. If you really want to be good at archery, blah 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 blah." It's like, okay, I think you're missing the point here. Okay, we need a little bit zoom out a little bit. Next one comes from Bellaber. Everyone is either going through a storm, coming out of the storm, or preparing to enter a storm. That is the cycle of life until you die. 15-year-old me. Damn, Nana. That is such a negative point of view. 30s me. Holy shit, Nana was right. That's the thing when you're like in high school, man. When you're a kid, you just are so... I mean, not everybody. I mean, people gain wisdom before they reach adulthood. But... you know, when you're in high school, you don't have to worry about anything, dude. You just gotta like hang with your friends, you know, just like do your schoolwork and just chill. Once you get to get a little older and you start having real life responsibilities, then things are like, why am I stressed out like all the time? Like, I can't even imagine how stressed out my parents are. Like, the amount of responsibilities they have to deal with. And it's just like, the grandma's just like, yep, life is a cycle of never-ending storms. The storms will never end. It's just a cyclical revolution of storms constantly happening. And there's occasionally a break in the clouds. A very occasional break in the clouds. But other than that, just be prepared to weather the storm. And you're like, this sounds like terrible advice. This sounds like such a negative point of view. But then it's like, oh, no, if you're better prepared for the storm, then it actually might make things a little bit easier. Okay, you might be able to put yourself in a position where the storms don't hit as hard every single time. It's really good life advice, though. Reply from Tuna Eater 69. Doesn't necessarily have to be negative though. I've always thought of it in terms of a wheel. So you may be coming out of or entering a storm, but that should give you hope during the storm. Good times come back around too. You got to build memories during the good times, so you have something to hang on to while you ride the bad shit. Yeah, you know what? This is exactly right. Okay, it is cyclical. That's the thing, is you're never going to be in the storm forever. Okay, the storm is always going to keep on moving. It's going to keep on pushing through. Nothing ever stays the same, right? It's not like you're going to be in the eye of the hurricane for the rest of your life. Or is the eye the chill place? Maybe whatever it is, the part of the hurricane that's really bad. Okay, you're never going to be there forever. Next one, it's like, wow, the advice grandma gives me is always so depressing. Like when you're a kid, you don't understand the storms of life. You're just kind of like, okay, then I'll just stay out of the rain. Like, I'll just stay out of the rain, Grandma. It's not that big of a deal. And then you reach adulthood, and then it's just the cloud of darkness overtakes you, and you're like, oh, okay. Maybe I need to listen a little bit more intently to Grandma's advice. Next one comes from Superstitious Pigeon 5. When you move, the first thing you set up is your bedroom. When everything is chaos, you're exhausted from moving all the boxes all day. You have a place to crash that is ready for you. That's good advice. I feel like it kind of ties in with that fact, like, you know, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should do is make your bed. And it seems insignificant, right? It seems like, oh, who cares? Like, what does it matter if my bed is made or not? But I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at my bed and it's made because I made it this morning, and it looks there. I honestly don't think there is a better there's S tier level feelings. Okay, everyone knows how the tiers work: S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, F tier. Like things are good, and the S tier bad, and F tier. There are very few S tier experiences as a human being. I think getting into a bed, like putting the covers over your shoulder, is an S tier experience. There is nothing better than just like looking at your bed and it's made. It's inviting you to just taco up inside. It's just pull me over. Just pull over the covers. It's gonna be fine. Like, just relax. Okay, just take it easy and just come lay down. It's so inviting. Whereas your bed, when it's messy, it's just like, yeah, you don't want to be in here. You wouldn't want to be in here, okay? There's things going on in here. There's chaos, okay? There's things going on in here you don't even, the deepest, darkest places of your mind wouldn't even want to know. The unmade bed is not a very inviting place. Related, from Love by Letters, related, when moving, if you get a chance, see and inspect the new living place before move-in day. Bring toilet paper, then go ahead and put it in all the bathrooms. Maybe I was reading into this advice a little bit too abstractly. Everyone's not talking about actually moving. That way you won't have to think, I'm just like sitting over here being Mr. Philosophy, and then they're just like, no, I was just talking about just moving houses. Yeah, like, when you just, like, find a new place to live, I was just saying, like, oh, yeah, make sure you set your bedroom up first. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like, yeah, you didn't really need to get all, Nietzsche on us, okay? No, we didn't need your Carl Jung advice, okay? So, relax. Take a chill pill. So then you put toilet paper in the bathrooms. That way you don't have to think about it on the moving day. If you don't have a chance to see the place before, you see other units but not your own, then make sure you pack the toilet paper last, so it's the first thing that you get out when you get there. Yeah, that's good advice, because you know what, I've moved a couple of times, and it's definitely a dagger sitting in the bathroom and you're on the toilet and you're looking forward and you're like, I'm the only one here and there's no toilet paper. I feel like, what do you do? What do you do in that moment? You feel defeated. Okay, you feel like all hope is lost. This is just you are on the front lines of the battle, and you just know you're gonna lose. It's like there's no winning in this possible situation. I just have to hope and pray. I'm looking literally for a miracle. I'm just praying a roommate's gonna walk in. I am praying someone's gonna answer their phone. That's all I can do. I'm stuck here. I'm literally stuck here. I can't, like, what do you want me to walk around with poopy butt all day? All right. Next one comes from not from Pakistan, and you can't walk to the grocery store like that. You can't. No, not happening. All right. You have to. That goes to show that's a defining moment for the fact that humans are dependent on each other. We must. There's no such thing as an independent human being. You must be dependent on other people. Not from Pakistan. Next one. Some people need to be excluded from social plans, even if it makes you feel like a bad person. For context, a person in our friend group always killed the vibe and had tantrums, and finally my friend gave me this advice. She said I was so loving and caring and inclusive, but you gotta get the snips. Sometimes people deserve the snips. And you know what? I think that this is good advice. Okay, this is good advice. Sometimes even you need the snips, okay? And you got to realize at moments too when you need to back out, or when you need to remove yourself from the situation. And it's happened to me. I'm not going to lie, okay? You know, apparently people don't find my insulting sense of humor very funny, okay? But I didn't know these people were a bunch of... No, just kidding. Just jokes. But seriously, I think there is something to be said for knowing when to take a step back, but also you don't have to put up with people being jerks either. Like, I remember, so I'm not going to get too into detail here. I mean, I don't really think that this person or any of these people would listen to this podcast, but you know, we used to, I have friends, okay, despite what you guys may think, despite on how much time I spend on the internet, despite what all you listeners might think, I do have real life friends. I promise, trust me, I promise you, I have real friends in real life. And this happened to us. We had to exclude someone from our group, but it was because it's like, okay, I'm done with being insulted, and it's just blanketed as a joke. It's like I'm not like constantly being like ridiculed for something you just like can't control. Like, it's just, and then someone just being like, "Come on, just take the joke, loser." Like, it's just a joke, man. Lighten up, dude. It's like, oh yeah, it's probably because you know, you're just like, everyone, like, I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think of something they used to say without being too specific, because I don't want this person to to know. But I guess I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's just like, I talk a lot, you know? Somebody's just like, "Oh, dude, you won't shut the fuck up, dude. What the hell? This guy never shuts the fuck up, right?" And I'm just like, okay, well, that was clearly not a joke. All right? Like, it's so passive aggressive, right? It's like, dude, I'm just like yanking your chain, bro. It's like, no, okay, like, there's ways you can do that, and it doesn't seem like an overt insult. Okay, that was actually decent of an example. That actually did happen. There's a reply from Stinky Jockstrap. My wife's group of friends in college went through stages where they'd kick people out of the group due to drama they caused when they hung out. Us boyfriends would meet a new girl in the group one day. We'd all party together. Then a month later, we'd ask, "Where's so-and-so?" And then they'd inform us that person had been voted out. like they were in the boardroom all just sitting around. They've got their like suits on, or pantsuits or whatever, and they're sitting around the table, and it's like, calling this meeting to order. I'm calling this meeting to order. On the vote of Tabitha. Please write your vote down on the card. Pass it into the center. Reasons varied from having full-on tantrums in public over small stuff. I actually witnessed one of these firsthand. Not pulling their weight in the group projects, they were all in the same major. Trying to break up with one of the couples in the group. It's like, you guys aren't right for each other. Okay, I don't know how you can't see it. Okay, he's so much better with me. Okay, he would just be way better off with me. I can't believe you can't see that. If you'd be a good friend, you'd break up with him so that I could date him. Okay, that's what being a good friend is, because it's called clarity. Okay? We were like the new... Now, almost 10 years later, they have a stable friend stable group of 5 girls, and 4 out of the 5 original boyfriends, some now husbands, remain. We like the new guy though. He's cool, and the girl in the group he's dating, whose previous boyfriend was first class bum that got the other girl pregnant, looks genuinely happy around him. Well, it seems like I guess he might have been on board. So someone asked Stinky Jockstrap about the tantrum in public. So we were all out to lunch one day, and since they were doing a project near the office I was interning at, and since it was a food court, everyone went there to get whatever food they were craving, and we met at the table. One girl decided to order what the person in front of her ordered since she said it looked good. Turns out the person ordered tofu, so when she sat down and realized it was tofu, she started whining and screaming about how she hates tofu and wasn't going to eat that. You can't take a risk and then just be like, and then be dissatisfied with the outcome. You took the risk. Like I don't understand like what the problem is here. Yeah, I bought this car for $1,000 and turns out it's a shitty car. Like, okay, like you can't complain. You spent $1,000 on the car. Okay, $1,000. You got to be prepared. It's probably not going to get you the most top of the line vehicle. And if it doesn't, then you can't complain about it. Okay, I mean it sucks. You can kind of complain about it, but you can't just incessantly complain about it. And she was full on toddler style, I don't want to eat vegetables type of tantrum. We told her to just throw it away if it was such a big deal, and that made her even louder. My bosses frequented this food court, and I didn't want any unnecessary attention brought to the table, especially 2 of the higher ups at my office were only a couple tables away. So I just told her to give me her food, and I'd eat it if it wasn't that big of a deal. I learned I also hate tofu that day, but this pissed me off, so I ate it anyways out of spite. This wasn't what got her voted out by my wife and her friends, but it contributed to it. Now that we're older, we're friendly to each other, but that's about it. We support her in small business sometimes. She comments on the pictures of our son, but we don't hang out anymore. Okay, yeah, that's probably I think you guys took the right vote on that one. Okay, Tabitha seems a little problematic. All right, next one comes from Inu Basket. We as humans tend to pick up the habits of the people that we hang out with. So surround yourself with people whose habits you want to emulate. Now, just hang out with ballers, all right? You just got to hang out with just straight up ballers, okay? You want to be the best at scamming the public. You want to be the best at crypto scams? Hang out with Logan Paul. Just do everything you can to hang out with Logan Paul. If that's your dream, okay, you just want to pick up on those habits, you're trying to grind, make that money, all right? Just hang out with a couple crypto scammers. You'll turn out just like them, all right? Look at all those people who are hanging out with Sam Bankman-Fried, okay? Look at them. They were doing exactly that, picking up those habits, just being who they truly felt that they needed to be, all right? They wanted to really express themselves. And so they just, if you want to be a crypto scammer, you just got to hang out with more crypto scammers. Okay? Take them for all they've got. All right? Force people to buy your NFT. And then NFTs are worth nothing. So that's you just got to convince them. Okay? Tell people to buy your cryptocurrency and then take it off the market, all right? It's just that's how it works. Right? It's unregulated. So no one's gonna even come after you, all right? The FBI, they don't regulate cryptocurrency, so I see this as a win-win. Okay. Hopefully you guys understand that I'm clearly joking. Any Kovitz, next one comes from Any Kovitz. My first boss told me, but just before firing, you know how to work efficiently, but you don't know how to look like you are working efficiently. Later in life, it hit me. People will look for perceived value even more than the real one you give. So my advice in work environments is look like you are busy. If you finish a thing on a date, the date doesn't matter. If you needed 2 days and spent 3 on Reddit or spent the entire week deep into it, look busy. You know what? I think this is great advice. If you're a surgeon, okay, surgery's supposed to take 8 hours. Take your time. Make it look like you're busy. Okay? The patient's always going to be there. All right? Once they're under anesthesia, they're not coming out of it, all right? Just keep the steady flow dose going. And for an 8-hour surgery, if it takes you like 3 days, then you know what? This is you taking advantage of the capitalist system, all right? If you don't want to be exploited for your labor, then you know what? Take your time, all right? Make it look like you're being busy. It's called quiet quitting, all right? I recommend this to all doctors and surgeons, EMTs, any emergency firemen, house is burning. Just, you don't have to spray the whole thing of water. Take some time to make that house go out. Okay, take some time to let the fires simmer down, maybe get a couple of marshmallows, just roast them over the fire, a couple of dogs. Take your time, all right? Because if you don't, you're letting the bourgeoisie win, all right? You're letting the capitalists win. I'm clearly joking, all right? I'm clearly joking. Please, if you're a doctor or someone who listens to this who is in an emergency field position, don't take this advice. This advice is not meant for you, okay? I would be very concerned if my doctor was quiet quitting while operating on my appendix, okay? Oh, you went into kidney failure. I'm quiet quitting today. Oh, God. But it can work for some jobs, so I'm not going to explicitly recommend that to anybody, but that's what this person on Reddit says, so you can take that how you want to. Next one comes from Prying Apothecary. If someone is trying to intimidate you, stare at them confidently and say nothing. They will back off. I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I ended up trying it on the bully at work, and she freaked out and avoided me for the next few weeks. We worked together. I use it all the time on people now. LMAO. Again, I'm not too sure about this one. If someone is holding a gun to my forehead, I don't know if I'm going to go for I don't know if the move is going for the intimidating stare. Okay, I think I'm going to go for the cowarding look. I think I'm going to go for the staying out of sight and trying to be as little, being as keeping the disruption to a minimum in that. I don't know if we can blanket take these pieces of advice. I think if someone just pushes me to the ground while I'm staring up at them, I don't know if just a death stare is really going to cut it at that point. I think I might as well maybe, try to defend myself, or even just run away. I can't say that advice might work in all situations. Being held hostage. I don't know if that one's gonna work all the time. But maybe just for work disputes, okay. If someone's making you angry, maybe it's a live option. It's an available option. Next one comes from Friedrich Ungman. Dump her back. My grandfather. His response when I told him my girlfriend broke up with me for another guy. I thought, WTF? A few months later, she tried to reconcile. I dumped her back. Okay. All right. I'm still waiting. I'm just kidding. I'm just waiting until she comes back. Yeah, she's any one of these years. It's been a while now, but she'll be back. She'll be back, and I can't wait to have my moment. All right, I'm gonna seize that moment. When is she gonna call? When is she gonna call, Grandpa? You told me she was gonna call. Yeah, that one again. If they do come back, that'd be great. That would be great to do that one.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Next one comes from Vasopressin 334 or 334. Why did I say it like that? My ex-wife once told me, Buy perfume from a company that makes perfume, meaning clothing companies, actors, etc. might have a perfume brand, but buy the perfume from a company for whom that is their primary focus. This advice generalizes nicely to nearly all purchases. Yeah. Now, a reply from Not a Wizard Promise says, meanwhile, Yamaha. Yeah, Yamaha's dipped their toe into a lot of different things. They make pianos, but they also make ATVs. So, and side-by-sides and snowmobiles and stuff. So, and Yamaha gets a good, and don't they like make guitars and stuff too? They're kind of dipping their foot all over the place. I'd say if there's one brand that's an exception to this, it's Yamaha. Because if they opened a Yamaha restaurant, I would go. I would just assume that I'm going to walk into just an entirely chrome building, and the food that I'm going to be served is completely made with complete, like, just perfection. Okay, and they've got Beethoven playing in there. All right, the Yamaha restaurant is just an experience. Okay, I think that's my one exception. That is an interesting piece of advice, though. I don't. That's a very specific advice. I wonder what you were buying. Like, what? I'm kind of confused. Like, you bought something that was made from not a company that's supposed to be making that kind of stuff? Like, did you eat a couple too many Costco hot dogs? Or maybe you bought the meatballs from IKEA. Maybe that's what it was. All right, maybe you got IKEA food poisoning. You thought, you know what? This is a great place to pick up a brand new workstation. All right, the Schwielenbagen. All right, I'm going to pick up my brand new Schwielenbagen today. And while I'm at it, I'm going to get a couple meatballs. All right, and then she's like, you know what? This is the perfect time for this advice. There's a reason why you got food poisoning. The reason why you need to have your stomach lining replaced, because you ate those IKEA meatballs. All right, it's a perfect place to go for fairly, in some respects, inexpensive furniture, but not for the food. Not for the food. Next one comes from Darkness. Obviously this person's from Boston. When I was working as a cashier at a grocery store back in high school, an elderly man I was serving leaned in and whispered to me, "Never take sleeping pills and laxative at the same time. Trust me on this." I don't know why he told me this, but I have lived by that advice ever since. Is this have you needed to use this advice? Yeah, so whenever I'm taking sleeping pills, I just always remember not to crap my pants. How important it is to not crap my pants. All right? I always, and vice versa. If ever I'm trying to crap my pants, the first thing that comes to mind is, don't go to sleep. You don't want to take sleeping pills, or I don't want to get overly tired. Otherwise, you might wake up with a messy situation. Okay? That is a very specific life advice. I'm wondering how many times you would have had to use that. You know, I'm always popping pills. I'll take, sleeping pills, melatonin. I'll take laxatives. I just do them all. I'm crazy like that. I'm different, bro. I'm built different. Okay, I'm just no one has anything on me. All right, no one has anything on me. Next one comes from CT Naturist. The chef I worked for let 18-year-old homeless me stay in a room above his garage during the winter. The rental agreement was, mow the law once a week and don't be an a-hole. I love that till this day. There is no reason to be an a-hole in nearly any situation, so don't be one. And also remember to mow your lawn. Right? There's two pieces to that life advice, okay? Everyone always forgets, all right? It's easy, all right? Just don't be an a-hole, okay? That's just number one reason, okay? Number one piece of advice. But there's a hidden piece of advice in there. It's to mow your lawn, all right? You don't want, and when you mow your lawn, okay, you got to let the trimmings, you don't want to collect the trimmings, Okay, the trimmings fertilize the ground. All right, this is important life advice. Okay, I'm preaching the gospel to you. Why aren't you taking notes? Everyone who's listening to this podcast right now should be taking detailed notes right now. All right, everyone should be taking detailed notes. Don't be an a-hole. And remember to fertilize, water, and cut your lawn. Do the cycle, all right? You only want to pay for sod once. Okay, you don't want to have to pay for sod again. All right? You got to treat your lawn with respect. Next one comes from Vibrant Piano Network. Best hiring advice I ever got. I can teach anyone a skill. I can't teach them attitude. It actually doesn't matter that much what a candidate knows or is familiar with if they're willing and able to learn and can get along. If they can't get along, then it doesn't matter what they know or can do. So basically just don't ask any questions. If you see something fishy in your workplace, if you are concerned about the behavior of others or just general uncomfortability in the workplace or something dangerous that's going on, basically just fit in, okay? Just go with the flow, keep your head down, and do your work, all right? Don't be asking, oh, this isn't safe. Oh, I'm gonna potentially lose my arm. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Just this is semantics we're talking, okay? This is just words, all right? We need to get to the real meaning, and the real meaning behind those words are you're fired, okay? Keep your head down. Don't have any concerns about anything at all, and just you'll be fine, all right? You'll be okay. Just learn your skill, all right? Learn your skill. Attitude, just keep it to yourself. How about that? I hope you know that I'm just ripping into that piece of advice. It feels very capitalist advice. You know what makes a good laborer? Subordination. All right. You know what makes a really great labor workforce? You know how you can really exploit a labor workforce? Just subordinate the hell out of them. All right. Make them feel like it's not even about their work. It's about the attitude. All right. Sew more dresses. Okay. Just do it. Don't complain. Build more cars. Make me more money. Okay. All right. Next one comes from Lexus 6. I've got 2. It's possible to do your best and still fail. Kind of the depressing one, but it helps not to focus on the negative things. Life is unfair, and sometimes you just can't succeed. This is very true. I feel like this, I hope this doesn't sound too depressing, but I feel like this life advice defines a decent portion of my young adult life experience. Okay, sometimes you just try really hard and you screw up unintentionally, and there's just nothing you can do about it. So, you just might be, you might have the best intentions in the world and things will still go wrong. Hella frustrating. But also, we can do nothing about it. We just can't do anything about it. So sometimes we have to bite the bullet. Next one is none of us is as dumb as all of us. This is my favorite. You can describe any community using this phrase. Your company, your favorite show's fandom, even your country. Herd mentality is a bitch. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, reply from Jesus. 9KZTZ4J. I'm not reading all that. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, because I'm a massive Trekkie. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness. That is life. Why do I feel like I just watched that episode? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it is true though. And that's okay. You know what? It's important to have screw-ups and mess-ups, right? That is okay. That is the advice I don't want to read. The next one. Next one comes from TrickRest3843. When I had my learner's permit to drive, my dad always said, drive like you and everyone else drive like you and everyone else has a baby in the car. It was weird to me at the time, because I was 15, but made me a pretty cautious driver because who would want to be responsible for the motor vehicle accident that harms a baby? But the words hit home now because I have a toddler and a baby now. So at 15 years old, I decided to get pregnant to really start living my advice, right? It's not enough. It's not enough to just abide by the advice, all right? You need to live it. It's not enough to just listen and just take it in. You need to live the life advice, all right? If you don't have a baby to protect, then how are you going to protect anything at all? Have a baby, right? When you reach that prime age of 15, you guys better be getting some children on the move. All right, I made that mistake when I was 15. All right, I just didn't put any effort out there to have a baby, and I still don't have one. So I'm a reckless driver. I've just committed to it now. I'm terrible at driving because I didn't have a kid. I didn't have a kid at 15, so I am the worst driver you would ever possibly drive with. The skills just progressively got worse and worse because I didn't have a child. No, I'm just kidding. We're poking fun at this advice, but that is good advice, though. Okay, why don't we just wrap it up there for today, folks? It's been a little bit longer episode, but we did have a lot of replies, which is always awesome. So thank you all, each and every single one of you, for tuning into the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/AskAreddit. I am your absolutely stoked and honored host, Luke Dick. Pleasure to be speaking with all of you and being inside of your ears. So thank you all so much for tuning into the show. Remember, you can rate this show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, so please do that. Remember, you can also reply to this week's episode by going to Spotify and clicking the description, and you can answer this week's question, and I will read that response out loud on the next week's following episode. I love each and every single one of you. Peace out. Love you. Goodbye.